Hi Sagittarius, Trishna here. Welcome to your January 2022 Psychic and Tarot reading. In this video, we're going to be looking at your energy, Sagittarius, as well as the energy of the other person, the energy of the relationship, and any guidance that you need to hear for this month. Now, if you want to listen to this reading and you're not interested in a love reading, you simply replace the other person and the relationship with your topic of interest. That can be business, career, health, etc. And it should still apply to you as well. A few things before we get into the actual reading, Sagittarius. The first thing is, please keep in mind that this is a general reading, so it's not going to apply to every single Sagittarius out there. The second thing is, please also check out your sun, moon, and rising sign, as well as your Venus sign, in case one of those readings resonates more for you for this particular month. The next thing is, please keep in mind the energies can be flipped, so I may be talking about you, Sagittarius, and you may feel like, oh, actually, that sounds more like my partner. Energies can be flipped. Also, there is a lot of mirroring that happens in relationships. Also, if you're interested in purchasing a personal reading from me, you can do so by going to the description box and the link in the description box that will take you to my either Etsy or my personal website page where you can purchase a reading from me. And finally, because this is a general reading, you may be watching this and some things apply and some things don't. Please note that you clicked on this video for a particular reason. There is a message in here that is there for you specifically. So yeah, take what resonates and leave the rest. So with that, Sagittarius, we're going to get into your psychic, clairvoyant, intuitive, and tarot reading for love, career, general, etc. All right, Sagittarius, we're going to do this the way that I did the last readings, which is where I'm going to be shuffling the cards. As I shuffle the cards, I will share any kind of clairvoyant channel messages that I get, and then once the cards are out, we will read the cards specifically. So with that, Sagittarius. What does my Sagittarius need to know? What do my Sagittarii need to know for January of 2022? Sagittarius, I feel like you are doing well, but that there are some struggles happening in your life. I feel like you're trying to keep things positive, but sometimes it feels like you're not really hitting the mark. You don't know entirely what's wrong. I feel like I'm getting more on that. Here. What else wants to be shared around that? I feel like you're trying a bunch of things, really trying to put in the effort. You're not sure if the effort you're putting in is actually working, but you're doing your best to stay optimistic in the situation regardless. You feel like if you can just stay optimistic, if you can just keep trying, eventually the barrier, the ceiling has to break and success will be on the other side. You are okay with the stress. You are okay with the struggle. You feel like it's just a part of the process. It's just a part of the journey. It happens. And on the other side of struggle is always something beautiful, good, powerful, strong, something much, much better. I have all the cards, but I just want to shuffle a little bit more to see if there's anything else that I get, because I don't feel entirely complete yet. If any additional cards come out, I will read those as well. I feel like you're doing your best, but sometimes you want to break or crack. Sometimes it feels like a lot. You're doing such a good job of staying positive, Sagittarius. Keep it up. I think it will pay off. I think the energy right now, just overall, is very intense. A little more intense this December than maybe some other Decembers, but January of 2022 is a lot brighter of a January. This one is a lot brighter than a lot of other ones as well. So it's just the nature of the energy. By the way, if you haven't seen my January 2022 reading, which I have on this channel already, I recommend that you watch that as well, because I'm sensing a lot of really positive energies for January 2022, but also we talk a lot about 2022 overall, and it's just seeming like a really, really good year. So that's just what the energy is like collectively. Sagittarius. So just know that you're not alone. This is just kind of what everybody is going through in one way or another, in one version or another. It's just kind of it's going to pay off. Just do your best. It is okay to crack sometimes, but you're doing better than you think, Sagittarius. That's what I want to share with you. Okay, that's feeling complete. So looking into the cards, the first one we have is the Three of Pentacles. I feel like you are doing a lot of communicating right now. You're really trying to get your point across, trying to explain things to people, trying to share your message, trying to create a lot of understanding, really trying to get your point across. I do feel like, Sagittarius, it is also important to be a good listener at this point in time. You are doing a lot of speaking and a lot of sharing, but a part of being able to communicate effectively, a part of being able to be understood fully, is also being able to hear who you're speaking to, because that allows you to see where the disconnect may be. That allows you to see where more explanation is needed. That allows you to see where maybe more explanation is not needed. It gives you a lot of context and it keeps the conversation going. If it's mostly you just speaking and sharing your thoughts, then the conversation is basically going to end whenever you are done speaking. But if you keep it a little bit more back and forth, then the conversation can continue and you can get a lot more out of it. Then we have the Emperor. I feel like the other person, if this involves another person, that person is really doing their best to try to keep it together, to try to be very professional, to try to really be in a very responsible kind of energy. Sometimes that may come off a little bit as cold to you, but it's not about being cold. It's just that they're trying to be very responsible and methodical and thoughtful about things. If this is regarding career, I feel like there may be a person at work. I feel like it is more likely a boss. I feel like that person may come off a little bit standoffish, or you are worried that they're a little bit more standoffish or a little bit more strict or a little bit more set in their ways than they actually are. And I think you have reason to believe that. I think that is really how they portray themselves and how they come across. And maybe even how they want to be, but I don't feel like that's necessarily who they actually are. And I feel like there are some misunderstandings with this person that need to be clarified. And that's when you should really embody this Three of Pentacles energy, Sagittarius. If you are having a situation with somebody else, whether it's love or whether in this case it is career oriented, like with a boss, you may be trying to figure out how you can communicate your thoughts and your side. And you want to make sure that whenever you do communicate, or even before you communicate, that you're doing a lot of listening, a lot of hearing what the other person is saying, what their perspective is. Because only then can you really figure out what the root of a situation is. Once you can figure out the root of a situation, you can have a more profound discussion that is at a very deep level that then heals everything above it. But it's really important that you listen. So if there's some kind of disagreement that you have with your boss, or maybe something that you want to talk to your boss about, make sure you're doing a lot of listening to hear what they're saying before you go into explanation mode. One of those kind of like seek to understand before you seek to be understood. I feel like that is a philosophy that may be beneficial for you for this month. Then we have the Queen of Wands. I feel like you are feeling maybe a mixture of energies. I feel like you're feeling pretty good about maybe the way that you've been handling things. But I feel like you're not getting a lot of feedback on whether the way that you handle things was actually the best way. But I feel like you feel like it is because that's just how you feel about it. I think it's important to get a lot of feedback on how a situation actually was received, how words were actually received. It's really important to get a lot of feedback, because what you may be thinking in your mind may not be what another or others are thinking in their minds. It may not be how they received it. You may think that you sent a particular message, but that's not the message that got translated on the other side. And I think if that doesn't really get explored, it may fester and grow into something bigger. So don't operate off of assumptions, Saggy. At least not this month. Then we have the sun. Now the sun kind of came out like this. So a little bit sideways. Sometimes Sagittarius, you can put an overly rosy overly rosy disposition around things. Okay, here's an example. So maybe if, like, when it comes to your life, you tend to be very optimistic overall, but if there's a time when things really aren't optimistic, when they don't feel optimistic, you allow yourself the space to be able to feel negative about it and to be able to go through your emotions. But sometimes when it involves outside situations, you put a very rosy disposition on it, kind of assuming that things are going well, or if another person shares that something isn't going well, you don't really relate to it or give them the room to feel that, or you don't really honor that in the same way that you sometimes honor what's going on with yourself. So you maybe assume that the other person shouldn't be upset. They should be happy because XYZ is going right and they shouldn't have anything to complain about. So that's, I think, the guidance that you need to have is when you're listening to everybody here, when you're listening to others, when you're trying to explain yourself, do them the same honor that you do yourself, and don't explain away the reasons why they shouldn't feel the way that they do feel. Try to hear them where they are and honor them in their current place. And I think when you do that, it will create a very safe space, and a deeper discussion will be able to happen as a result that maybe people can't have at this point in time because they don't really feel heard, or they don't really feel acknowledged, or they don't really feel safe in the discussion because they may feel like whatever they say is just going to get brushed off. Okay, so as I was shuffling to get a more complete message, we got 2 more cards. The first one is Justice. There may be a bit of turmoil or things not being very balanced right now, or not feeling very balanced. I feel like that balance is starting to come. I feel like it's going to be coming in January, maybe towards the end of January. There's going to be some kind of calming of the waters. Everything that's been happening that maybe has been feeling very tumultuous, it's not been out of balance. It's been that the situation is trying to find its balance or its new balance. And that balance is going to be found. And I think you're going to be very happy with the results. I think you're going to be feeling really good, or you're going to be feeling really calm and more settled. You may not be feeling very settled right now, Sagittarius. You may not be acknowledging that because sometimes you do the Sun card to yourself as well. But you are going to feel calmer, more settled, more stable. Then we have the Page of Cups. I feel like you're going to get an offer. Somebody is going to do or give you something very sweet, or something from the heart, or it's going to come from somebody that you regard as very sweet and loving towards you. I feel like this offer is going to be very important. I feel like you will want to accept it. I feel like more than likely you should accept it. Yeah. If this is from someone you know, I feel like you should accept it, because it's really going to shift things. And I feel like things are going to be really good in January, Sagittarius, towards the end. It may sound a little bit tumultuous, but it is all moving towards a very nice end of January. So I feel like an offer is going to come. That may happen towards the end of February, actually. And that offer, I think, is going to further enhance the positivity that already has been happening. Now, if this is not somebody that you currently know, and maybe this is a new partner in love, for example, or a new colleague or something like that, then you may want to question the offer and whether or not it's really right for you. If this is a new love partner, My feel is they may not be a long-term partner for you. You may be together for maybe 2 to 3 months. They may be somebody that you really connect with as a friend, though, and vice versa. And even though in some ways you'll think that it wasn't really worth it because it didn't really lead to something in the romantic department that you're looking for, in other ways it will be kind of worth it because you will have gained a friend that you really trust and that really understands you and understands your intentions and how you think and how you go about things. So if this is a new person, then, weigh out the options depending on whether you really think that it's worth it for you or not. But if this is from somebody who you are currently with or is currently in your life, definitely take the offer because it's going to up-level things in your life. So with that, Sagittarius, thank you so much for watching. I hope that this reading served you. If you're interested in a personal reading, again, you can do so by going to the link in the description box below where you can purchase a reading from me. And with that, I will see you in my next video, Sagittarius.